Hello and welcome to Game and Makeup, a video game podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michael Tucker, and with me always is the one and only, incomparable, it's Big Mac, Haley McLean. Haley, how are
I don't
you?
know if I like Big Mac.
Why? It's your last name.
It is my last name, but the big part I don't love.
Oh,
But we'll roll with it.
we're rolling with it. We're going with it. How are you, Haley?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. How's your 2023 been so far?
Fine. I mean, we had COVID,
We did have COVID.
so that was kind of a bummer, but now we don't. So
Mhm.
that's cool.
Absolutely.
Really coming around.
Yeah.
You can actually, last episode is the first day I felt sick, and in the episode while we're recording, I start coughing.
It's true.
That's the first coughs of COVID.
It's a piece of history we'll
Go
always
back and
have.
rewatch.
Actually, little known Easter egg, it's when you're watching Lord of the Rings and he kicks the helmet, you'd be like, that's where she got COVID.
That's her getting COVID.
But yeah, my 2023 has been pretty good. Besides from that, thank you for everyone for your lovely reactions to our
Yeah.
welcome back episode. It was very much appreciated, and we're excited. Look at us, 2 weeks later, just doing another one.
Episode right away.
We're crazy.
I know.
Unfortunately, we are going to start off this episode on a bit of a down note, which is just to say we want to extend our condolences and heartfelt feelings to all those who were recently affected by the layoffs in the video game and tech industries this past week. It's very, very sad, and we hope all of the people who were affected land on their feet and get wonderful jobs elsewhere, because I'm sure you're all very, very talented.
It's not that no one's not talented, it's that the industry is so annoying.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, and a lot of great content creators that I watch are not with respective platforms anymore, and great developers of games I play are not with their companies anymore. So it's very sad, and we wish you all the best.
My Twitter feed was just everybody being like, "Yup, me too," and it was like, "Oh."
But hey, you extended some advice to people about law.
Yeah.
As a potential outlet.
Well, I saw a lot of people making the very appropriate connection between PR, because a lot of games journos end up in PR because there's just more job security. It's very transferable skills to PR and communications types of things. But what I think people don't realize is that also, if you do journalism, you're 50% of the way there to being a really good lawyer. I think you just need to learn the law.
And that's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I've heard it's pretty easy, the law.
It's just super, I totally get how that's super niche and expensive, and
Sure.
it's kind of hard to access that type of career. But if it's something you're interested in and you're a journalist and you're leaving journalism, that's what I did. I went into law, and honestly, reading, writing, interviewing, those are the main things I do every day. You read and write to learn the law and write down things for clients, and you interview your clients to get more information to make your work better. That's what journalists do all the time. It's just different, a different industry. So I think it's really transferable.
Sounds like they could also be really good detectives.
Yeah, they could just be Sherlock Holmes too.
Just tell me about it. And you write down your little notepad.
Yeah.
Just great.
They want to be. You want all the journalists to be cops.
Yeah,
Sure.
We need more of those, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yes. So again, our condolences to them. Moving on to the actual episode, we're gonna start things off what we've been playing. And Haley, you got a lot to talk about.
I'm playing a lot.
So we're gonna start off with. Why don't we start with your one of your games of the year? Your game of the year. It was your final game of the year, was it not?
No, it was Cult of Lamb was my game of the
Right,
year.
this is your number 2.
It was 3.
3.
Yeah.
Well, you've wrapped it up. Tell us about your final thoughts, without spoilers, of course. Your classic thing. Your final thoughts on Pentiment.
I loved Pentiment.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
It's so good. I talked about it a lot last episode, and I kind of
Just briefly. Thoughts.
I started talking about the pagan and Christian ideology clash of the 14 and 1500s, but I won't go back into that.
Right.
I'm a nerd for that. Sorry. It was really good. There definitely was a part where it got really slow, and I was like, oh no, and I kind of started losing my chug with it, and
A little long in the tooth.
but then it picked up at the very end.
Nice.
Again. There was definite 3/4 of the way through, 2 hours, where I was like, what are we doing? And I got kind of bored, and then it got really good again. It was fine. Just really cool, such a unique experience. I like how that studio is doing stuff like that now.
Yeah.
It's Obsidian.
Absolutely.
Just really unique, and I love how the premise of the game is completely tied in with the menus and the aesthetics of the game and everything I've talked about before. But you're in a book, so when you go to a new area of the map, the page turns in the book. If you are talking to somebody, proper nouns and names get highlighted and you can click on them, and it goes out of the game to give you explanation on those things. So they might be like talking about a city. You're like, what the heck is that? You click on it. It's like a city founded in blah, blah, blah. And it gives you more information.
Is
and
this
context.
an educational game?
Yeah, super educational.
Oh, God.
And
for nerds?
Oh, I tweeted about this, but there's a bibliography in the credits. I
saw that in proper formatting.
Really good formatting. I've written dozens, hundreds of bibliographies at this point.
It tickled my English major brain too when I saw you post it.
I like stopped and was reading all the books and it's all the historical text from the 1500s that would have been used at that time. Everything's completely historically accurate. They must have had so many history nerds on the team.
Oh,
so,
you would have
we can't talk about that yet. That didn't come out until blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
It was really good. I loved it.
Nice. Do you think? I know obviously there could be lots of ways the story plays out. Do you think you'll do a replay of the game anytime soon?
No, because I kind of looked into without spoiling. I kind of looked into how it works. Like you kind of know after Telltale, you're like, what happens if you X?
Sure, yeah.
And you just want to know, like, what if I had kissed her? Like, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
And like, there's definitely people who might want to replay it. I think I got what I want out of it.
Sure, you had your experience, and you want to keep it as that experience.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think the ending, there's not too many different endings. It's more the middle that gets changed.
Right. It's always about like defining who your character is. I feel like.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was cool. What are you playing?
Oh no, we're gonna do all yours first.
Oh hell yeah, okay.
But yeah, Pentiment, very cool. Still on Game Pass, probably will be forever because it is a Microsoft and Xbox published game.
It's so good.
So
play it. Like just try it out. The first.
I am definitely going to play it at some point.
There's a really cool aspect to it where you share meals with people too. And it's like you sit down and like if you're having a meal with a poor family, it'll just be like bread and cheese.
Yeah.
And then you'll sit down with like the abbot and you're having like quail and bread and a tart for dessert and all this stuff. And like, you know, like that's cool. I haven't seen that gamified before. It like changes the mood of who you're talking with.
I also saw that like if you're like talking with like poor people, their handwriting is like worse.
It's like scritchy scratchy.
As opposed to the rich who have like very nice, you know, big old Latin, big L's.
Yeah, like you're a scriptographer who works with other scriptographers. So like when you're up in the scriptorium, there's someone who...
There's no way that's what it's called.
The monks. I think that's what it was called.
Scriptorium.
I'm pretty sure that's
sounds like a Professor Farnsworth invention.
When you're with the monks who are also working with you, they have amazing, beautiful handwriting when they talk. But then I'll go home. I was like staying with a farmer, and I went home, and it was like it was like really ugly. And there's a printmaker. And his words are printing press letters, and it sounds like the printing press when he talks. Cool.
Very cool. Well, so you playing Pentiment, which kind of is a nice little segue into the next couple games we're going to talk about. It's hard to put you on... Because Pentiment is not itself a point-and-click adventure game.
I think it is.
Per se. Do you solve puzzles with things from your inventory?
There's like a few.
Okay.
Very few, though.
Sure, but obviously inspired by a point-and-click adventure game.
There was like one hard puzzle and then like 3 easy ones.
Right. Even that early first Walking Dead game also had like inventory puzzles.
That's a point and click adventure game.
Yeah, but then like season 2 and 3 like weren't at all. It was weird. Anyway, we're gonna talk about a good point and click adventure game. We're talking about Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
Is this your first time playing Grim Fandango?
Yeah.
Do you like Grim Fandango?
I liked it. I mean, I'm not done it.
No.
I'm probably done chapter 2-ish area. I think there's 5 chapters.
That sounds. I haven't played it in years, so that sounds about
I'm
right.
playing the remastered version, also on Game Pass.
Game Pass pretty cool.
We're starting to become like a Game Pass.
I play all my games on Game Pass. Are you kidding me? Like, why would I play anything else? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I was like, I googled best point and click adventure games.
Yeah.
And then like some article that was like top 25, and Grim Fandango was like in the top 3 for every single like listicle I saw.
I mean, I'm sure that top 10 of that list was probably mostly Tim Schafer games, which this one is.
Yeah. He's from LucasArts.
Yes, so he worked on like early stuff, and then Psychonauts, and then his main point and clicks before Grim Fandango were like Day of the Tentacle and Full Throttle. Which
all the ones you like.
Oh, I love Day of the Tentacles.
Monkey Island?
He worked on Monkey Island, like the later Monkey Islands, but like Monkey Island is mostly Ron Gilbert.
Okay, I don't know him.
But he worked on like Monkey Island 4 and 5, which are like the ones that aren't revered as well.
Oh, okay.
But you know, they're still fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grim Fandango. Tell me about it. Tell me about what's it about.
It's a fun it's a fun concept. It's like you're like a corporate goonie for like hell, I guess.
Sure.
Or limbo, I suppose, purgatory. And so the concept is like, I'm sure it's very intertwined with like Mexican culture, understandings of the afterlife, or maybe it's just like playing on those with like, doing its own thing.
Right.
I don't know as much about that, but you're Manny, and you are trying to sell it like pseudo insurance packages to dead people.
Sure.
And like you want to get like the nuns, because then you can sell them like this expensive ticket on like the train to get to the afterlife in only 4 days, but he keeps getting like shitty people who suck, so he has to sell them like a walking cane for like $1.
Right.
And I guess the understanding is like he needs to make enough money to pay back so he can go to the afterlife, I guess. I don't really understand that aspect of it so much, but the puzzles are really interesting. Like like it's not really a spoiler because it's in chapter 1, but like you have to ruin this machine, and to do it you like send gunk down the letter hole, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And some of them are really hard, though.
Right.
Is that a common complaint?
So this is sort of my issue, not just with, because like I didn't finish I played Grim Fandango years ago. It was free on PlayStation. I played it on PS4. It was free on PlayStation Plus, and I got to a point where I just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. That's
and like I'm not gonna Google it because the whole point then just like that's like the whole game is figuring out puzzles. So I was like, I'm not gonna Google it, and I tried.
I'd rather Google it and finish though than never touch
see
it.
now I probably would have, but then I was very stubborn, and I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So I got stuck and never went back. But here's like a problem that like I love point and click adventure games, but I feel a pretty common problem is that eventually the puzzles boil down to I have 6 things in inventory. I'm gonna click on everything with everything else until something happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes like there's a couple great puzzles in Day of the Tentacle or and Grim Fandango that are obviously very intuitive, and you're like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But like some of them are just like moving the pigeons. I remember Grim Fandango is really dumb.
That was really stupid. You had to put a cat balloon in a basket, and I'm like, what?
Sure.
You can't, and you also have like 4 other balloons. You can't put any of those in.
Right.
So I tried to put the dingo balloon in, and it was like, that wouldn't work. And I was like, okay. So then I went and tried like 12 other things, and then I looked at a guide because it was like 40 minutes, and it was only. I'm sorry.
No, your time is valuable.
And it was
I
like,
totally
put
understand.
the cat in this, and I was like, what? How would I have thought like birds would be scared of a dingo too?
Yeah.
Not just a cat. Like that. Like that definitely does happen, and
Sure.
that does suck when that happens.
Yeah, it's just because it's not like I get like what it is, because like that's what makes the game long is like, because you can like beat this game probably like an hour and a half, the solutions to all the puzzles.
You skip the cutscenes.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just not. It's just like an
Like,
problem with the
humans wouldn't
game.
think of that. You're like,
Yeah.
ugh.
And I'm sure it takes a lot of effort to come up with those like sort of puzzles and solutions in your game.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Oh yeah, it's a problem I have. And this is actually really nice about the new Monkey Island is that like there's just a hint button.
Yeah.
That like you just click it, but it doesn't explicitly tell you what the solution is. It's more like
A pseudo hint.
look over here. It kind of sparkles, like that's where you kind of should be maybe looking. And then I think you can actually turn up to like, okay, now give me the actual solution. I still can't figure it out. So it sort of has like levels of like a little bit of a hint as opposed to just flat out. Because also another thing I do hate, I'm thinking of like God of War Ragnarok.
Oh.
Where like
It spoils it in 5 seconds.
well, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do a room as our puzzle, and then Atreus is like, "It's this, father, do this." I'm like, "Can you give me a goddamn second to figure it out?"
We should probably hit that branch.
It's
Pop.
and it's the reason why I haven't still gone back to God of War Ragnarok. Because honestly, that did put me off quite a bit. And you can't turn it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a slider?
There's not.
That's stupid.
You can't be like, I'm like, can you trust me to not be an idiot? I'm an adult. Like I can figure out the freeze the block puzzle.
Yeah.
Sony. Anyway, so like I think there's a fine line between like the game yelling at you the solution and then something so obtuse and dumb that like some point and click adventure games have.
Yeah.
And I do remember there was a lot of those in Grim Fandango. Fandango?
Fandango.
But yeah, great game, and I'm excited to see you finish it up because I remember I didn't finish it, but I got to like chapter 4, and it was really, really like the story goes in a lot of weird places from what I remember.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
I'm in like the forest.
Yeah.
If that's helpful.
Yeah, it's like part 2-ish. You're like, that's like, a couple hours in.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
That's fun. I like it.
Yeah, it makes me want to go back and play like Day of the Tentacle in full
I haven't
throttle
played like
again.
any of those.
Oh man, Day of the Tentacle is classic.
I know, like I'm kind of on a stint right now of these. I want to go back and play like the older ones that came out when I was a kid. But I just didn't have a PC, so I couldn't play them.
Well, someone who grew up playing like Nancy Drew games, they're essentially the same thing.
I love Nancy Drew.
Yeah, Nancy Drew games have better puzzles than some of these games.
Nancy
what I've
Drew
seen.
games are amazing, but no one takes them serious. Oh my god, they're so good. And
Nancy for Smash.
Like, so there's like 50 of them. So like that's too much. So like 20 of them are amazing, and then like 30 of them, and then like 20 of them are okay, and 10 of them are bad. Like, how about that?
You should absolutely stream your Nancy Drew games tier list.
Oh my god, I would love to. But the thing is, I played some of them in like 2002, so I
Yeah.
have to like remind myself what happens, and the
That's
puzzles
fun.
are good. I've been replaying a few of them. They're amazing. You talk about like, humans would know that. All of them make sense.
Sure.
All of the solutions
And,
make
and those also
sense.
primarily aimed at like a younger crowd as well.
Yeah, but you can put Master Detective in the puzzles.
Oh, really?
And
That's
you know,
cool.
you talk about
Wow.
puzzles, like there's so many puzzles and they're so unique. I learned Roman numerals from Nancy Drew. I didn't learn that shit in school. I learned that from a Nancy Drew puzzle in like the carousel one in 2002.
I love that most gamers be like, I learned from rules from Final Fantasy, and he was like, I learned from Nancy Drew and the Secret of Blue Moon Canyon.
Like, oh my god, that's literally titled.
I know.
I've
I've seen your Steam library.
Yeah, I have a bunch. They're so expensive on Steam. They should be $5.
You
They're
could
each
probably go to
30.
like a Value Village or something and find old box copies of
I
them.
have them
Yeah.
at my parents' house probably. And I mean, I had an account with Big Fish. This is actually a really funny side story.
Okay, yeah.
My
Lay it
mom
on
got
me.
so mad at me when I figured this
What
out.
now? What is Big Fish?
It was like a publisher. It has a website. They sell a lot of those games that are like the weird like search ones, like I Spy.
Oh,
like,
okay.
the Game Grumps play.
Where's Waldo and stuff?
No, like you know, like we were watching them play one of those.
Mhm.
It's like you click and you
Oh,
find
right.
things.
Like, oh yeah, and it's just like it's
The
like a
old
room
lady
full
in
of
the
crap.
chair,
Yeah.
like that kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My grandmother used to love those games.
really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She played them all the time on
So-
her PC.
They sold though. Big Fish was like the publisher of Nancy Drew for a while.
Okay.
So they have this website where you buy them off the website if you don't have a physical copy. And I used to get physical, but anyways. So I was like, I really want to buy a bunch of Nancy Drew games. This was back in 2014. You're gonna. Have I ever told you this?
No, I don't think
Sorry. So I signed up for their monthly program where you get
Oh my God.
you get a coin a month for staying on the program, and it costs like $4 a month.
so. Uh-huh.
And a coin you can buy you a game. So it's like, oh my god, I can play Nancy
One
Drew
coin
game.
equals one game?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's a
like,
pretty good deal.
Yeah, but maybe it wasn't maybe it was like $10 a month.
Okay, yeah.
And I forgot. I signed up with my mom's credit card. And I forgot, and mom was getting charged $10 a month for like a decade from Big Fish. And
How many coins did you have?
So one day she calls me
Oh my
and she's
gosh.
like, my card is getting flagged for fraud. She's
Mhm.
like, what's Big Fish? And I was like, because I
didn't
hadn't thought
remember.
about Big
Yeah.
Fish. This was a decade ago. And I was like, oh my god, I have no idea. What does that mean? And
Oh
she's
my
like,
God.
they make video games, so that's why I'm calling you. She's like, did you do something with my card on Big Fish? And I was like, and I googled Big Fish. It was like Nancy Drew. I was like, oh my god, I may have signed up for an account. She's like, I've lost hundreds of dollars. And I logged into my account and I had so many coins.
So did you buy the Nancy Drew game?
This was on I didn't have my computer now.
Oh, this is like your family PC.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I I used the coins for a bunch of them, and I even texted like my friends, and I was
Mhm.
like, because like I have one friend who liked the Nancy Drew games. I was like, log onto my account and download whatever you want. I have a million coins because they were expiring in like 2019
Right.
or like maybe it was 2021.
Sure,
just
sure.
Recently. And mom was so pissed, and I paid her.
That's amazing.
But yeah, Big Fish.
This is like V-Bucks
Shout
before
out.
V-Bucks. You were just like one of those kids
I
who
had
like
Big
buys
Fish
a coin.
coins. Oh,
Mom, I want
embarrassing.
Big Fish
Sorry,
coin to
that
buy
was
the
a-
Nancy Drew Blue Mountain skin.
I want the Nancy Drew special detective cap
No.
that I can't see because it's a first person.
That's
game.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I can't believe I never told you that.
That's so funny.
I was so embarrassed when I figured it out. I was like, I may have the premium monthly account. Like first,
There's like one person who works at this publishing company who's like, man, this lady really loves these coins, man.
I probably was the only person because like who would ever sign up? You'd have one coin, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
No one would ever long term yearly maintain that unless they don't even have that many games that they
That's their
sell.
bank on. It's like with all these like streaming services, they hope you just get it and then forget to cancel.
They 100% knew I just forgot and they were just letting it flow,
Yeah.
letting it fly.
That's amazing.
So embarrassing. But Nancy Drew games are really good.
Yeah, that's an incredible side tangent. I love that.
Sorry.
No, that's great. We have a lot. That's what it's all about, baby. Let's talk about your final game here.
Yeah.
Certified classic according to some. Your most popular tweet ever.
Thank you, Jacob.
Tell me about
context that in a second.
Disco Elysium.
I really like it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Well, okay, so the joke we just made was I tweeted like the most basic tweet of all time. I was like, excited, I'm gonna play Disco Elysium. And Jacob Geller, friend of the show, very nice
Prolific
guy,
YouTuber, min-max
amazing
contributor,
YouTuber,
wonderful
like,
person.
Go consume his content, Jacob Geller.
Mm-hmm.
He just replied to my tweet and he was like, "Oh, good, Haley, because it's the best game ever made." And I was like, "Oh, fun!" But like, Jacob has such a huge following on everything, so like my Twitter was just full of all of Jacob's fans, like being like, "Disco Elysium is the best. You're lucky. Like, oh my god, you're gonna love it." Like, it was really sweet, actually. So that tweet has like 500 likes, and
Wow.
I normally get like 15
Yeah, maybe on a good day.
on a good day. Like, I'm still getting like likes like right now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I tweeted it like 2 days ago.
That's amazing.
So it just made me laugh, like, because Jacob has an amazing video on Disco Elysium.
I haven't seen that one because I don't want it to spoil. I still haven't played Disco Elysium.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want it to be spoiled by it. But
I don't think there's spoilers in it.
Oh no, that's good.
Oh no, I wish there was. But yeah, so I played. I'm on like 5 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to play today, but I got too busy.
Sure.
Oh, it's great. I'm playing Disco Elysium the final cut, so it has voice acting.
Yes.
Voice acting's really good.
Is it good?
The voice in your head voice.
Mhm.
It sounds just like who's the voice of Knuckles? Alba.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
I was like,
Idris-
I thought you were like,
That's what I know
like
him
video game Knuckles. I'm like, I don't know.
That's what I know him from. Who's Knuckles? Oh my god. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that voice is very good, and that's the most like that's the voice you hear the most.
The voice in your head. Tell me about like I don't like what does that mean?
Well, it's such an interesting game because I still don't really know what it means. So like
Mhm.
you have all these things you can max out, and some of them are like obvious, like endurance,
Right.
being charismatic, being flirty, like whatever. Like
Sure.
you can level those up, and then it unlocks more things, and you roll a dice on things. So like if you have a really high level of endurance. For example, I was trying to take a dead body down from a tree, but I had really low endurance.
Mhm.
So I kept having to roll and I would fail and he'd throw up. And it was like, level up your endurance more to try again. So now I have to go and gain experience doing other things, level up my endurance, come back and try again. And this time I have like a 35% chance of succeeding, but I failed 3 times. I don't know if that's like forced or if it's just the game.
Well,
luck.
35% isn't very high.
No, it's not. But like it started at like 17
Yeah.
and then it was like 35 and now I'm at like 56 and I'm still failing.
Sure.
Even though I'm leveling up my endurance. Like that's interesting. But then like there's also you can level up like Shiver, which like gives you more like intuition. So you'll be like talking to someone and if your Shiver's high, it's like something's off with him.
Oh, okay.
And like let you ask another question and stuff like that.
And your character is like a detective in this
yeah,
game?
but he wakes up and he has no idea where he is or who he is.
Oh, okay.
Which is like plays really well into the gameplay
Sure.
because you're like,
You're-
what's
you-
Shiver?
You're
And then-
making your character who they are.
yeah,
that
but
you're
it's
trying to
really
remember.
funny because there'll be moments where like you go up to someone, they're like, "Hey, how are you?" and you have to be like, "Do you know my name?" Like you have to say that, but in a not insane person way.
Right.
So I was on the phone with like the police, like that I worked for, like the unit or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" He's like, "Good." And then like my prompts were like, "Tell me my name," because he just wanted to hear someone be like, "Your name's Dave," but like I still don't know his name.
Right.
But I said that, and the guy was like, "You're being weird," and I was like, "Never mind," because like he just wouldn't say it.
Sure.
It's really cool, and like the art style is cool, and then this other part of it too that I'm still trying to figure out what happens. But you internalize thoughts,
Right.
and you internalize them based on the in-game time.
Mhm.
So there was like one complex thought was I can't remember what my home address is, so I put it into like a little chamber to internalize it, and I had to think about it for 6 hours, and then once I thought about it for 6 not me hours
In game time, yeah.
it was like it gave me bonuses. I was like,
Oh,
I kind of remember a hill and I whatever, and then it gave me like +2 endurance buff for like a while or something.
Okay.
Like and you internalize thoughts like that, and that's I feel like it's gonna go a lot of different ways. Just like really unique game systems I've never seen before.
So, like, all the actions are determined by dice roll. So, like, so is there combat in the game?
You can like like there was this beefhead guy, and like you have 5 health and 5 morale.
Okay.
And if you like, so I didn't have very high physical attributes, but I was like, I'm gonna try to fight him because like whatever. So I was like, I had a 17% chance, so I rolled and I lost.
Yeah, it's not good.
I mean, I was just trying to see how the
Sure,
game
yeah,
works.
yeah.
And he was just like grabbed my fist and like slammed me to the ground and punched me. And then he was like, "Say you're a dirty cop." And I like refused. And he like twisted my hand, so I lost a health and a morale. And I was like, oh, he's like, "Say it." And then I could say no again, but I knew I'd lose more health. So I was like, "I'm a dirty cop." And he's like, "That's what I thought." So I didn't lose out more health. Like stuff like that's pretty cool.
Right.
I tried to bust a door down, but I was like I didn't have high enough like
constitution or something.
And I like just hit the door and like he hurt his arm and I lost the health.
Cool.
So I think if you lose all 5 health, you die.
Yeah.
So
neat.
You kind of have to balance it. Like, oh, I don't want to risk it. Or...
Right. So like the idea is that you go around and talk with people and increase your stats so you can perform these activities.
Yeah,
so
like
move
you
the plot along.
If you fail a skill check, you can go away and come back once you level up that skill check. Level 1. So if I level up my strength, I could go back and try to fight that dude again.
Okay.
But I'll only have a slightly better chance. Like it might be 25% instead of 17, right?
Right.
But if I had level 9 strength, it could be like 85%, and then I might beat him up and get by him.
Very cool.
So you kind of decide, what do I want to put stuff into?
Yeah. So this game sounds a lot like Citizen Sleeper.
I haven't played that.
I only played it, excuse me, a little bit last year. I wrapped it up, just started this year. It's another game where you're essentially a robot man on a spaceship, and you wake up and you have to survive. So, and all your actions are determined by, you get a set of dice every day.
Yeah, it's very similar then.
So every day, I can go help my friend in the junk pile. I can go talk to the doctor. I can hack into the system and try to figure out things. And every once you get a prompt like, oh, by the way, like the cops or like the space patrol are coming to arrest you. You only have 12 days, so you got to figure out a way to defend yourself. So it sounds very similar. It's all done by dice rolls. If I'm doing something really complicated and I look at my dice and I get all 6s, like I nail it successfully, I get bonuses. So yeah, it sounds very similar. So that's cool.
When you land a successful thing on a load probability, you're like,
it feels amazing. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I was wanting to play Disco Elysium. It's one that I know I would love. I just haven't had the time.
I'm excited to finish it.
To get into it. It's on everything. Long. It hurts like 60 hours.
60 hours. If you want to do like a lot of the stuff.
Not on Game Pass. You bought it, right? It's on Steam.
It's on sale right now in mid-January for like $11 Canadian.
It's also on Switch.
Is it?
Yeah.
Final Cut too?
Yeah.
Oh. The only complaint is, and I was talking to you about this, is I read faster than they talk. And it's really bugging me.
Sure.
Like, I'm like I can't.
Could you turn the voices off?
I feel like I shouldn't, because the voice acting is really good.
Yeah.
But I'm just like...
I'm the same. Whenever I play an RPG or something, I'm always going through it. Like, I feel bad for the voice actors, for they put in a great job.
Something about that bugs my brain.
Oh, no, me too. I hate it.
But you can skip. Like, I don't have to hear the end of it. I can just go next,
sure.
or whatever. But then I'm kind of like, oh, I'm missing out.
Then you're just being like, and then this stop and start. I get it.
Yeah, that's my only thing, but that's going to happen.
Cool. And you think you're going to stick with it and keep playing it?
Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Big game. Look at you and your big point-and-click adventure thing.
Look at me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing this lately.
Hey, sometimes you get in the mood for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to play the kind of games you want to play.
Yeah.
Very cool. Cool. You want to hear about my games?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Such different games than me.
I'm playing a little indie gem.
Oh, I know.
Not a lot of people know about this game. It's low under the radar. It's a little retro. But yeah, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
The first 3D game.
The first 3D game
ever made.
No, not quite.
No.
It's but yeah, obviously, why am I replaying Ocarina of Time? It's a good question.
Are you sad?
No, not at all. Our friends over at Hello Hyrule, shout out to Chris and Pete, are starting. So if you're not familiar with their podcast, they sort of do a travel log where they get every episode's about a different area and they talk about it. Yeah, it's a super great podcast. Check them out. But I was like, I haven't played Ocarina of Time in like 8 years. This is a good excuse for me to replay the game in preparation for those episodes. We're looking forward to them. And Ocarina of Time, still a really good game. Still does a lot of good stuff. And it's funny because like obviously I'm a huge Majora's Mask guy. I replay that game once a year. Like I love it. I know it back to front. I can 100% that game in my sleep at this point.
Yeah.
Whereas Ocarina of Time is a game I also love very, very much. As an N64 kid, I played it a million times, but I don't have that same nostalgia for it in a weird way.
Nostalgia for it.
Obviously, it's a great game. So as I'm playing it for this time, I'm trying to like sort of like put myself in the shoes of like, I'm trying to think, I haven't played this game before. I'm just noticing, and now that I'm a bit older and I understand like game design tropes I love, how well Nintendo nailed this stuff on the first go to 3D Zelda is actually amazing.
Yeah.
Because it does some stuff better than some newer 3D Zelda games do.
Yeah.
So I'm just think like, obviously the big meme is the little fairy that goes, "Hey, listen," and then press the button for her to tell you exactly where to go. And like
that was my text sound
yes,
for years.
it was triggering.
Yeah.
It was very upsetting. But like, her clues aren't that, like, they're not as handholdy as I remember. Like, yeah, some are. They're like, "Hey, you should go to the forest." Yeah, it's, oh my god, well, Fee's a whole other story, man.
This is a anti-Fee podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, Skyward Sword, like,
I hate Fee.
You think, like, that game came out almost 20 years after Ocarina of Time, and it does so much stuff worse.
And Midna's in between, and she's the GOAT.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah.
And they went back down.
It's
just, it's like, what are you doing?
Wild how well Ocarina of Time, like, allows you as a player to explore and figure things out in a way that, like, I was honestly really impressed by,
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, where they sent me the third dungeon, right? Because the first start of the game, trying to find the 3 stones for Zelda, so you can go become an adult and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But the second stone, basically the game tells you, "Hey, go to the mountain. That's where it is. Go do it."
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then you do that, and then you get third stone, and I'm trying to put myself in, like, I'm dumb 7-year-old Michael. Where do I go? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And Navi says, "Hey, you should call Saria, who's your friend, and you play your Ocarina," and you call her, and she goes, "I don't know, I heard the Zoras have one."
Yeah.
They're in Zora's domain, and that's all they tell you. I'm like, well, where the hell's Zora's domain? Like, I know where it is because I played this game a million times. I'm 30 years old. So they're being like, this game's fucking stupid. Where is it?
What's a Zora?
But it's just like, okay, so like my brain's like, I guess I gotta explore, I gotta figure it out. And the game doesn't like tell you where Zora's domain is. It's right next to the mountain. It's not very hard to find.
No map?
There is a map, but like the map's all blurred out until you go.
Oh.
But the map's kind of cool because you can see like, oh, there's a big shadowy fog over there. That's probably a place I can go to.
Yeah.
So you go explore, and maybe you go the wrong way.
You
and
need
end
a little shot of the Colossus vibe.
Yeah.
Be like, shiny over here, shiny.
Well, that's a great way of the hold up the sword.
Literally. Just general area over here. You'll find it.
Yeah, and just like, I love when games allow me to explore. And Zelda's always been, like, particularly 2D Zelda is really great for being, letting you explore and figure stuff out. And Ocarina of Time is also really great for that. I also I'm only at the Fire Temple right now.
Yeah.
Which is like the second dungeon of the adult dungeons, so like the 5th dungeon overall.
Yeah.
But like the dungeon design is so good. Like the Forest Temple. Have you played Ocarina of Time? Yes. Mm-hmm. The 3DS version or just
I have the GameCube.
Oh, nice.
I played on Wii.
Got the Master Quest version, baby. Nice.
I stole from a friend years ago.
Nice. That's actually worth quite a bit of money now, I think.
We're not friends anymore.
But I'm playing it, and I'm just like, the Forest Temple, like, you walk in, and it looks really complicated, because there's 4 doors, and they all go different ways, but, like, really, there's only one way forward, and the game kind of expertly guides you back to that central door to be like, this is where you have to be.
Yeah.
Like, the critical path or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And, it's great. I mean, I know you said you're talking about how good Ocarina of Time is. Everybody knows that, but,
really brave of you.
I know. This game's actually, but I think in a little bit,
actually, Ocarina of Time's really good, you guys.
It's quite good. This little underrated indie gem. You're on Reddit, like, remember this hidden gem? And
You hate those.
I hate it. But
Sports Resort. It's like, okay, yeah.
Ocarina of Time does get sort of a bad rep, I think, sort of when people look back on it, because like it's too handholdy.
From who? I've literally
have you never watched the sequelitis video from Ego Raptor on Ocarina of Time?
Yes.
It's not good.
That's just Aaron.
Sure, but but there's more people who are like, all like, again, the combat's not great, but as far as
the locking on enemies in a 3D space was bad.
But
it's their first.
It's also like revolutionary. Like Dark Souls does the same thing. Everyone's like, that's the best combat ever.
Yeah,
like Ocarina of Time walked so Dark Souls could run.
It crawled.
Yeah, exactly.
So Dark Souls could walk.
So it makes sense, because for a long time, Zelda was my favorite video game series before like the Souls series took it over, and it makes a lot of sense because they share so much DNA.
Yeah.
It's just Dark Souls is like, we're not gonna tell you shit about shit.
Yeah.
And fuck you and figure it out. And Zelda's like, here's
don't even ask.
Yeah, don't stupid.
If you ask, you're an idiot.
But yeah, Ocarina of Time. I would say don't play I'm playing it on the Nintendo Nintendo 64 Switch online thing, which is
good?
It's fine.
You have the N64 controller.
Well, I need an excuse to use that thing, because I've used it for Majora's Mask and Star Fox.
Did I buy you that?
No, I bought it for myself.
Oh yeah, I can remember.
I buy things on my own.
Yeah.
But play the 3DS remake if you can.
What, really?
Yeah, it just looks better. It has more quality
Really?
of life changes.
I
Don't
thought
play.
it looked okay on there.
It looks fine, but like if it looks like a 1990 game from 1998.
Yeah.
It's just fine.
Which it is.
I don't mind it, but like don't buy the 3DS remake of Majora's Mask because they changed a bunch of shit and made it really bad for some
That's
reason.
the only place I've played Majora's Mask.
That's really
and
upsetting.
I hated it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's my favorite game of all time.
We don't need to break up over it. It's fine. We can just not talk about it.
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about our tastes in Zelda. You like Twilight Princess? Good lord.
It's the best game ever. I love it to death. Episode 1, baby.
All the way back. Throw it back to the episode 1.
It looks way worse.
Okay, so that's Orc Great Time. I've also been playing
A more newer game.
a more newer game. Just came to Game Pass. It was one of my games of the year last year. And it's probably going to be my game of the years again. It's Monster Hunter Rise, which just came to modern. It was on Switch, and then it was on PC, and they brought it over to PS5, PS4, and Xbox consoles.
Are you playing on Xbox?
I'm playing on Xbox because that's sweet, sweet Game Pass.
Pay us Game Pass.
Yeah, I would. I'm becoming an Xbox guy very late in my life.
No.
It's weird.
No!
I'm gonna be drowning in Mountain Dew and
Why did I
Doritos.
buy you that?
But like, I can't get into Halo. I can't figure it out.
I come home and there's just Dorito bags. As I walk in, instead of rose petals, it's like Dorito bags and empty Mountain Dew cans. And I'm like, Michael? No, you're a PlayStation guy. That's why I felt.
I mean, at my heart, I'm a Nintendo guy, but
Okay, that's
they make
the
it very frustrating sometimes.
Honestly, for girls, Nintendo, green flag. Sony, semi-green flag. If he's an Xbox guy, red flag.
You
I'm
own a
just kidding.
PC,
You
they're the
can
most
like
toxic
Xbox.
community of all.
And PC is like ultra violently red, but I'm PC now, so I don't know what to say.
But yeah, we don't need to go super into it because I already talked about it in the last episode as well. But yeah, playing it.
You like playing it? Talk about like how they're the Discord integration. That's just Xbox.
Well, that's just Xbox.
I thought that was cool.
It is cool.
It's not. It doesn't let you transfer your file though, right?
No, there's no cross save, there's no cross
really
play,
dumb.
which is really dumb because I had like 60 hours on Switch,
that's all just
which don't
gone.
get me wrong is like baby hours for most people in Monster Hunter. People have like 1,400 hours in these
But
games.
still.
But yeah, I would have loved to bring my character over, and there's also no crossplay, which is like. But now it's cool. There's crossplay between Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
So like I can play with some people who only have a PC, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to play this game at a 60 frame per second, and it looks
good.
It looks way better on Xbox than it does on Switch. Nothing against the Switch. The fact the game looks as good as it does on Switch is actually incredibly impressive.
Yeah. Nice.
Particularly in handheld. But yeah, it's just a great game to play with your friends. I play with my brother all the time, and it's just fun to hop in, hit a big monster in the head with a hammer, and get out, and it's very satisfying. Do you have any interest in ever picking up Monster Hunter again?
No,
The person who tried to get me to play it years
I played
ago?
World with you, and then I was like, that's enough. Well, World was so much slower than that.
Well, World, like, people love World, and I understand why, but World also has, like, a lot more, like, take the time to find the monster and track their footsteps and find their area. Whereas Rise is like, hop on your dog, and there's the monster, and go kill it. And, like, you can get into the game, eat some food, which you have to do to make yourself
I love a little
buffs.
cat
Yeah,
shows.
but eat some food, load up your weapons, and go find a monster within 10 minutes of booting up the game. Whereas World, it's like, eat some food, and then track the monster through a field for 12 minutes
Yeah.
before you find it.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good. World's also a great game. It's just I prefer the quickness of Rise and
I
just
would rather it be quick like that.
well, yeah, if you're going to play a game that's, drop in and drop out like
But
that.
then I can't make Sable in the game like you.
No, that's the other thing. You can make a dog.
It looks just like
It looks just like
You
Sable.
did
You
a really
can
good job.
make a dog. If you have a cat,
Sable
you can make
watches
cat.
all day because she's like, that's me
That's me. I'm killing that big dragon.
with a knife in my mouth.
Yeah, I've been giving Sable knives and she won't hold on to them well.
Sable, we should give her a knife in real life.
That's what I'm saying. I've been trying to.
Yeah, stop intruders. We'll leave the door open, but leave Sable with a knife,
With a knife.
in the hallway.
Oh yeah, that's Monster Hunter Rise.
Cool.
It's a great
We're
game.
playing very different games right now.
Yeah, it's that kind of weird time of year where they're like there are a couple of big games coming out that I want to get to. I want to get to Fire Emblem at some point.
Oh yeah, that already came out.
Yeah, it came out this week. I will play it eventually. Not right now because I'm also probably gonna pick up Persona 3 and 4 and play through those. So it's two 100-hour RPGs.
Talk about what you figured out with their bundle on Switch.
that it's cheaper to buy them separately by like
by
a cent,
less penny.
by a penny.
Why would they do that?
It's 'cause
Have
I
it be
don't- I
$1
don't
cheaper,
know.
like at least. They bundled them together and it's more expensive by a penny. Like just enough that you're like, ugh, like Obviously, that's nothing.
Yeah.
We don't even have pennies in Canada anymore. But like, it's the principle.
I
What are
might
you
wait for a
doing?
sale on them. Like Persona 5 Royal goes on sale all the time.
They're gonna go on sale.
Yeah.
Give it 2 months. They'll be
Yeah.
on sale.
But I want it now.
You're gonna wait for the sale, and you're
But-
not gonna get them at all.
But yeah, it's again, it's that weird time of year where like there's not a lot coming out till for a while. So
February is usually kind of meaty, and then
Mhm.
it'll be calm again, and then
Summer obviously is
Summer.
packed.
Tears of the Kingdom will.
That's in May. Final Fantasy
Destroy us.
16's in May.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna buy one copy of Tears of the Kingdom and share it.
You're not touching my copy for many a moon, many a blood moon. You're not touching it.
Ah, very good, very good, very
You don't
good.
even want to play it.
Yeah, I do. What do you mean?
Oh, you're so stinky about Breath of the Wild.
Save it for the Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom episode.
We never got to do Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
fight
talk
tooth and
about it.
nail.
We'll talk
I'll
about it.
fight. I will fight.
I like Breath of the Wild. It's just like an 8, and that's fine.
It's a 10, except
It's
at the ending.
not. Speaking of something that's definitely not a 10, we're gonna move into.
What a segue.
I know, right? And getting really good at this hosting thing. So we're gonna start talking about some news stories we thought were interesting and lead to
Yeah.
some fun discussion. So firstly, talk about a game that is ending. Marvel Avengers, created by Crystal Dynamics, is officially. This is from their website. I'll just read it aloud for everybody to see.
To our amazing community.
To our amazing community, after 2.5 years of introducing 12 of Earth's mightiest heroes, following update 2.8 on March 31st, 2013, we will no
That's not even
longer
that high of a number.
add new. Don't interrupt me in the middle of the prompt. Add new content or features to Marvel's Avengers. All official support for the game will end on September 30th, 2023. So,
Wow.
did you ever play? Did you have any interest in playing this game?
No.
It smelt like doo-doo from like the moment
What
I
do you
saw it.
mean?
Cause there's such an easy layup, right?
Yeah.
Avengers, when this game came out, I think almost 3 years ago, I think it was 2020. Like
Yeah.
Endgame and
2020 was 3 years ago.
Infinity War had just come out, and everyone's like, Avengers hype's at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Like making a good Avengers game was like the easiest thing they could have done. Give me 4-player co-op with Captain America, I was gonna say Marvel Man, Iron Man, the incredible
Mr. Marvel and Marvel Boy.
Marvel Man. There's a Captain Marvel. Then you could have added new characters as DLC, and people have been happy. But no, it's a games as a service, battle pass, grinding for outfit nonsense, garbage game.
What like genre is it?
It's like it was like an action brawler beat 'em up,
Okay.
but like you could do.
I don't know anything about this game.
And like they all play differently. Like yeah, Iron Man can fly, and the Hulk hits things, and Captain America is a more versatile ground fighter.
Yeah.
But like you had to unlock moves and outfits by just like grinding out battle passes and buying DLC.
yeah.
And like all you had to do was make a fun 20-hour Avengers game that was like look how good Insomniac made their Spider-Man game.
Ugh.
Just do that. Just do that.
That's so easy to say.
But like
Just do the good game thing.
but it's so easy. Like these Crystal Dynamics has made good games. Like fun, exciting games, and they're just like it's just
What has the studio made before? That usually tells you a lot
Tomb Raider,
about their
I
capabilities.
think.
Tomb Raider?
Yeah. Crystal Dynamics.
Because if their team is used to making
Yeah, they made the Tomb Raider games.
okay, then they should have made a game.
Well, that's what I mean. Just like make a third person
Never
action
mind.
game.
yeah.
Like it was
fair,
all
fair.
there. Like
Fair.
anyway, it's now
I was
ending.
thinking like if they made like a mobile game before or something, it's like okay, leave them alone.
No, there's a lot of money behind this. It was just the studio and the publisher being like, we try to get people this. They want you to be Fortnite, like be Fortnite. And that's the problem with it. And this upcoming Suicide Squad game looks to be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's like people just want single player or co-op experiences but you can play it solo and just. I don't want to buy a battle pass for every single game I play.
What about the success of Marvel Snap?
What about it?
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, so it just shows that like you can use the IP and make a ton of money.
Oh, there's tons of great Marvel
but if you
games.
just apply it to like monotonous nothing.
Like I don't want to beat up waves of faceless drones as Thor. Like I want like a nice and don't get me wrong. Apparently the story mode in this game was pretty good. A lot of big talent behind it. Troy Baker and Nolan North are in it. Like a lot of money. It just never struck me as.
I would love. I want to read their terms and conditions now to see what they say about because I assume you can pay money to buy the outfits and stuff.
Well, here's an update. They actually did announce as well. As a show of our appreciation for our community, starting March 31st, 2013, we will make all the game's marketplace, challenge card, and shipment cosmetic content available to all players for free.
Okay, so that kind of sucks for the people that have spent hundreds of
Well,
dollars.
that's the other part of it, right?
Yeah, so...
like there are some people who have played Marvel's Avengers for years and dropped $300, and yeah.
So that's this is like a new area of law, mind you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Ownership of digital materials, like, you don't actually own them as much as you feel like you do when you buy it. Because if you actually read the terms and conditions of like Fortnite or Overwatch or whatever, if you spend real human money on digital items, you're getting a license to use them for as long as the game exists. You don't get you don't get to own that. Like, they're not guaranteeing the game will last forever and you'll always have that item.
Sure.
So like with games like World of Warcraft and stuff, like you can buy some of those mounts for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm always just so interested in how they craft that language and the terms and conditions as someone who writes those, to just make sure that no one's ever going to come back and be like, give me my money back. It's like, nope, your celestial tiger is gone. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's such an interesting thing. And like, there's definitely going to be people that complain like, I spent hundreds of dollars and now everything that I just bought is free. Like, what the hell? But like, you know, that's kind of the same energy as boomers who are like, don't forgive student loans, I paid them.
Right. And it does.
But it's just interesting, I think.
It is. And as I keep reading this article, it looks like if you do have like a credit balance, they are transferring your credits into in-game resources you can use. But not your money back. But not your money back.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
not.
So I want to go read their terms to see how they phrase that.
So again, thought that was interesting. I never played Marvel's Avengers. I do know some people who have, and you know, they liked the game. I mean, also I've seen people who are like, I put 800 hours into this game and I hated it. It's like, why? Marvel's a hell of a drug, I think, for some people.
Yeah, fair.
But I hope with like Marvel Spider-Man or Insomniac Spider-Man 2, they're also doing a Wolverine game. We do get, because like, yeah, good superhero games are sick. It's fun to be Spider-Man. It would be fun to be Iron Man. Iron Man game.
I would love it. Really cool, really thoughtful Iron Man game.
Fly around.
Fly.
Shoot things.
Yeah.
That's an easiest game ever. Just make a cool system where you shoot things as Iron Man.
Yeah.
I'd buy that game for $80.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway, that's that. Moving on to our next story, we're going to be talking Sony. This is a couple weeks ago now, so we're not up to date. But yeah, you know, we do these only every 2 weeks. But if there's a certain news story you'd like us to talk about, please tweet at us at Game and Makeup, and we would definitely talk about it.
Fight about it
as it comes out. Sony introduced a new accessibility controller, codenamed Project Leonardo.
Like the turtle.
The Ninja Turtle, yes. Famously, Leonardo had detachable limbs, much like this controller. They could use that to make things accessible. We shouldn't joke with things. This thing's actually very, very cool.
Whoa.
This is from the PlayStation blog a couple weeks ago. Today at CES.
It's awesome they're doing something like this.
Today at CES, we announced our next step in our journey to make gaming more accessible. Project Leonardo for PlayStation 5 developed with key contributions from accessibility experts, community members, and game developers. Excuse me. Project Leonardo is our code name for a new highly customizable controller kit that works out of the box, in quotation marks, to help many players with disabilities play games more easily, more comfortably, and for longer periods. So yeah, if you look at picture, if you Google this thing, it looks to be like two sticks with like various.
I'll put the footage.
Yeah, we'll put it up on the screen. But this thing looks cool. I mean,
you know what I like about it? It's stylized. It's not just like a wire-y looking like sometimes the accessibility controllers. It's like they do what they're meant to do, but they're not like, you know, polished and look really cohesive to like the quality of the other products that they sell for like that are like not accessibility focused. These look like Sony made them, and they like match the theming of the PS5 and the DualSense controller and stuff. I like that because it feels like you're consuming Sony products just like if you bought a DualSense.
Yeah,
like they're putting a lot of effort into making it not just accessible, but like same energy as what we put into the rest of our
It would
products.
not look out of place walking out on someone's entertainment system.
No, it looks cool.
Yeah. And obviously Sony's been doing this for a while, and in their games, The Last of Us Part 2, I'm pretty sure you can play if you're blind.
Yeah.
Which is wild. God of War Ragnarok also has tons of incredible accessibility features. I think this is a wonderful thing that Sony's been pushing.
Yeah.
I think it bodes well for their VR setup as well.
Yeah, true, actually.
But
I didn't think about that.
very cool. I don't think we're gonna get one because we don't need it. But
I wouldn't even want to buy one to take a unit away
well,
from
there is
someone
also
else.
that. But
Like, I
yeah,
don't need it. It's fine.
but very cool. I think everyone should look into it. And props to Sony for developing accessibility stuff that lets more people play video games because they're awesome. More people should play video games.
I wonder if they they patented it. They must have. But
Yeah.
I'd be curious to, because you almost kind of want to, from an ethical standpoint, not patent that kind of stuff.
Right.
And just release it into the public domain so that like other companies could make stuff like that and then more people could use it. But they're a conglomerate corporate company, so
Right.
they probably patent it. So that's like my only kind of like, that's too bad. But
Sure.
you can play with like one hand on the DualSense and one hand on the
Yeah, you
controller.
can play with two. If you can get two of these to play together, or one controller and one. Yeah, it's neat.
Cool.
It's very, very cool. So yeah, props to Sony. That looks really neat.
I'd be interested to hear people who need to use these kinds
Yeah,
of
I
devices, like,
want to read some
opinions on
reviews of it when it comes out from people who need it.
When does it come out?
It's supposed to come out. That's a great question. There probably at the bottom of this article.
February, right?
That's PSVR 2.
Slightly different item. I thought this was also February.
Maybe, and I'm not seeing a date, but I'm
That's
sure.
just the PlayStation blog. It's probably written somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll announce it. Oh, they will probably have announced it on here. Let me just look up Project Leonardo release date. Yeah, we're prepared. We know what we're talking about. Project Leonardo release date. Doesn't seem to have one. Probably sometime this year.
No release date or price yet.
Yeah.
Nah, that's too bad.
So sometime this year, probably.
Okay. I kind of want to look at the patent and see what they said in it.
You can do that in your own time, law nerd, patent nerd. But yeah, that is no, it's cool. It's you know lots more about it. That's why I wanted to bring it up because you know about these things. All right, and our final little bit of news that we're going to talk about, not really news, so it's more of interesting little tidbit, but a game that, are you looking forward to it? I'm not looking forward to it.
No.
But some people are, and maybe this is...
I don't want to be a bummer.
No, but this is... So a new Square Enix's new IP for Spoken is coming out, at the time of this recording, 2 days from now.
Yeah.
So I'll just read this is from GameRevolution.com. For Spoken review codes not sent out to multiple outlets by Square Enix. Multiple gaming websites have revealed they have not received Forspoken review codes ahead of its review embargo on Monday, January 23rd, as concerns mount over the Square Enix game's quality. Staff members from various gaming sites, along with prominent YouTube games critic Skill Up, have revealed they have not received code for the game, despite reviews set to go live just 1 day from its January 24th release date. Many spoke out with lack of codes, with Skill Up calling it a huge red flag. And that is, Now, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt here. Just because games are not released with review codes does not mean they're bad inherently.
To pick and choose certain outlets is a red flag.
That is weird.
Like, if no outlet was getting one and it was coming out, like, that's,
Yeah.
honestly, that's just annoying for the game reviewers, because then they have to panic play it and, like, stay up really late and have horrible hours to get their review out on time for SEO to be good.
Yeah.
Like, just give review copies and have an NDA. It's fine. But if they're choosing, that's a red flag.
Yeah, it's, and I think a game that sticks out to me...
they're not going to like it, don't give it to them.
Yeah, it seems some outlets are getting them, but I think they're like, we don't want this outlet to review it because they're going to say it's bad. I'm like, shows a lot of lack of faith in your game, I think.
Some stories of I can't really talk about them because then it'd be rude to people that told me, but
Sure.
I've heard some bad stories about, not Square Enix, just like in general, of
Sure.
like some developers like really being picky. Like they would be like, who's gonna be reviewing it for you guys, and they'd say the name of the person and they'd be like, oh no, never mind, we're not, because they know that person's a tough reviewer,
Right.
like stuff like that.
Sure.
Really annoying. Like
Yeah.
that's the antithesis of the whole point of this whole relationship between the media and game. Like
Right.
otherwise, just how are you gonna like, people want to know people's opinions on things.
Well, yeah, and you want to build, like, I think there's reviewers I love in YouTube for film and games and books, and I don't always agree with that reviewer, but like I trust we have similar tastes, and so I'll read their review.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like, but like, and that just because they don't like doesn't mean I won't either. There's lots of games that people have given 7s that I think are amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of great games are 7s. But yeah, I think Forspoken just in general has sort of a weird vibe around it. I didn't play the demo, heard it wasn't great.
Yeah.
The marketing's been kind of weird.
Did you hear that cheesy audio?
Oh yeah.
Although I was kind of thinking about, that's like how Nathan Drake talks.
Right.
And everyone lets him talk like that.
Sure.
He talks like just like that. Like, no way.
I think what the difference might be is that
She's a woman. Yeah.
There is that. But also like Nathan Drake typically has somebody with him.
Yeah. Well, who's she talking to?
Well, that's the thing. This is the same thing with with Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, is that she never shuts up, but nobody's ever there for her to talk to. Which is a smart thing by Naughty Dog because, yeah, it does make sense for Nathan and Sully, Sam, Chloe.
His government name. He's called him Nathan. Sounds wrong.
His name is Nathan.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Well, it makes sense for him to talk to people, right? So it doesn't seem as grating. Whereas,
he does do a lot of here we go.
Oh yeah, but that's his
Let's dive in.
His whole catchphrase is, oh no, whatever it is, no. But yeah, like her Forspoken, like she's like, did I just kill a dragon? I think so. It's like, oh my god. And again, maybe it's just not for me. I don't know, but I'm not looking forward to this game.
Right, this game.
A Velma joke. Boom.
Velma's really bad.
I have not watched it. I have no intention to. Don't hate watch things, people. Don't do that to yourself.
Okay.
That's weird. People are like, I'm gonna watch every episode of a show I hate. It's like, don't do that. Don't hate don't hate play games and don't hate watch media you don't want to watch. Yeah. Give it a chance. Be like, that's not for me, and then be a sane person and change the channel.
Maybe I'm not the intended audience. That's personal growth.
Instead of going on Twitter and yelling at everybody.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Forspoken, maybe it'll be good. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play it for $5. That's all I got for the news. Haley, we're rolling right along here. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to play a little game. You want to play a game?
Yeah.
All right. So what I have done,
I love games.
I'm shamelessly I'm stealing this game because it was on the Easy Allies podcast. So I'm shamelessly stealing it. I just want to be up and forward for someone yells at me.
You gave me credit.
I did. Obviously, check out Easy Allies. They're great. So what I have here are 5 user reviews from the site Metacritic.
Okay.
For 5 of your favorite games. Sorry, 4 of your favorite games and 1 of my favorite games as a bonus. I thought the review was really funny.
That's nice that you put one of yours.
So
my eyes are crying right now.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I don't know why my eyes are burning.
So I'm gonna read you the review.
Okay.
And you're gonna try to guess what the game is.
Is there gonna be playing as this cowboy was super annoying.
No, I tried to avoid those because I would make it too easy.
Yeah, okay.
There are some that were very explicit and detailed in their hate of the game they were playing.
Okay. So I'm not looking, I promise.
All right, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the review.
Okay.
A stupid game for dumb adults. Also, a bad game for very good times. Pros, none. Throw it out 10 times over. No offense. Cons, bad gameplay. Very terrible title name. Most horrible game in the series. Even though the others are awful too, this game is the worst. Garbage mechanics. Better yet, don't throw it out. Return it to the store and get your money back.
Wow.
What game am I?
Twilight Princess.
No.
Because you just referenced a series. So I was like, oh, it might be that. There's no context clues from that besides the series thing. The rest of it's just pure hatred.
I just love that it's a stupid game for dumb adults. Like, it's like a kid played and was like, I'm not smart enough for this.
Is it? Well, no, it can't be that.
It could be anything. Just start throwing out guesses.
Well, I'm thinking of things that are not a series. Sunshine? Super Mario Sunshine?
No. That's a good guess, though.
Yeah. Because some people complain about the mechanics of that.
It is not a game we have covered on Game and Makeup.
Okay, that's fair.
That's a hint I'll give you.
It's not Red Dead 2.
It is Red Dead 2.
Worse than the series? My guy, there's 2.
There's 3. Red Dead Revolver's a game.
Red Dead Revolver does not count.
I just like
crazy.
And obviously I don't know. I don't want to make this person's English might not be their first language. It's just like also a bad game for very good times. What does that mean? If you're having a good day, don't play this game.
It's a bad game for good times.
For very good times.
If it's your wedding day, don't touch this. You'll have a shitty reception. Right. What does that mean? What was that guy's name?
I didn't take the name.
Chadley.
Chadley. Mm-hmm. even though the others are awful too. So I like the history of this guy. Probably played the
Is
other
this a
two
new one?
games. No,
Oh.
it's still this one. It's like even though the others are awful too, this game is the worst. Like I played the other two, I didn't like them, but I'm gonna play
They're
this
so
one.
long too. Like you're saying you played the entirety of Red Dead 1, you don't like Red Dead
Would you say
2?
Red Dead 2 is garbage mechanics?
No, they're fine. Like what? They're just I mean like if you turn off auto aim, it's harder. There you go.
Mhm.
Like he probably has fucking auto aim on. He's this big baby, big crybaby bitch. Go back home, bitch.
Wow, you're getting worked up. I do like at the end though. He's like, throw it out. Actually, don't throw it out. Return it. Get your money back. Like he caught himself. He's like,
He's
that's
like,
what I'll
wait, no, you can return it for money, for cash money in your
do. All
wallet.
right, this one's long,
I hate him,
but
Chadley.
it's funny. Oh
Okay.
man, this they get good.
Okay,
All right, ready?
yeah.
This isn't even a game. It is a virtual book.
Night in the Woods.
No. I only played 20 minutes of this steaming pile of garbage, and that's enough for me to know that there isn't any actual gameplay.
Oh my god.
I was expecting to beat up some bad guys, and these lazy developers can't even do the bare minimum. And the greedy developers, greedy and lazy, and the greedy developers had the audacity to charge $20 for this piece of garbage.
Okay, there's a clue.
Are you
$20.
freaking kidding me? Xbox Game Studios?
Oh.
They had the audacity to sell us a $30 PowerPoint presentation and now a $20 virtual book. I can purchase an actual book for a cheaper price. Xbox Game Studios. Publishing indie games isn't the real problem. Oh, sorry. I can purchase an actual book for a cheaper price. Period. Xbox Game Studios, a $30 PowerPoint presentation. Sorry, I'm getting it all mixed up here. Xbox Game Studios, publishing indie games isn't the real problem. Indies in quotation marks, by the way.
Okay.
Isn't the real problem. It's the fact they have the lowest production value possible. Microsoft is a multi-trillion-dollar company, for goodness
No.
sake. And this game makes Untitled Goose Game look like a AAA game. That is pathetic and flat out embarrassing.
So it came out before Untitled.
It came out after
Untitled Goose Game.
Is there any multiplayer? Not that I know of. This game doesn't even have any gameplay. So it doesn't matter.
You don't know?
So it doesn't matter either way. These cheapskates didn't even bother to hire voice actors. I want a refund. It's free on Game Pass, but this game should have been free to begin with. I've played free Flash and mobile games that have better production value than this.
Oh my god.
Microsoft brags about day and date games, but this year has been nothing but indie trash. There's no need to subscribe to that awful service for now. I don't recommend this poor excuse of a game, in quotation marks, at all, unless you want to support laziness. That was a lot.
What is he talking about? What do I like that came out after Goose Game? That's like an indie Xbox.
Even though it's on Game Pass. Xbox Game Studios.
Inside?
No. Good guess. That is gameplay, though. You jumping inside.
What's that?
It has gameplay. Inside is gameplay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I think of a game that doesn't have gameplay. Oh my god, I don't know. Let me think.
Take your time. Work through it.
A book. It's not Night in the Woods.
Not Night in the Woods.
Because that, you can see why I'd think that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because like a lot of people probably would be like,
Sure.
I just run left. It's not like Persona 5 or something, is it?
No.
Because that'd be crazy. Can I have a hint?
It was on your list.
Cult of the Lamb?
No.
Why can't I remember what game?
We talked about it earlier in this episode.
Pentiment.
Yeah, just Pentiment.
Oh my god.
This dude seems to be like beyond one right now because he's just like, is there multiplayer? I don't know.
What multiplayer? You and the other peasant can talk to the same person? That is so interesting that he's so mad that a game that's not for him has been made.
And it's so funny because he played it on Game Pass, which is,
It's free.
it was free, and you're like, oh, I don't like this. And I've downloaded games on Game Pass where like, it's not for me, and then I delete it and I move on with my day.
Yeah.
This guy's like, I'm gonna go on this website and say this game's
I'm gonna
garbage.
call these people lazy and stupid.
Yeah.
That is what chaotic behavior, my guy. Like, are you okay? It's like if you eat an orange candy and you're like, oh, I should eat the cherry. I don't really like this. But instead of moving on, you like call the company and scream in the phone. Oh no! What an awful person.
Yeah. That's the longest one, but yeah,
Okay.
it killed me. I've read that and I was like, I have to. That's
What
such a good one.
gameplay is there?
It's a virtual book, Haley. I'm like, yes, it is, but
Kinda,
that's
yeah,
fine.
that's fine. That can be a thing that exists. It doesn't have to have shooting in it.
All right, are you ready for your next game?
Yeah, I hope it's as spicy as that last one.
All right, this one's got some good hints.
Okay.
It's Annapurna Interactive.
Okay.
Phony, irredeemable, boring. Unengaging, indie crap. They think they are the A24 of gaming, and it's incredibly annoying to have to share space with these people at gaming events.
This person knows that?
That's it.
Is it Stray?
It is Stray.
What is he talking about? Does he work with them?
He just... They are the A24 of gaming. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Why are you mad about? What? They didn't even... Did they talk about the game? They just hate...
They said it's phony, irredeemable, boring, unengaging, indie crap.
And they have to share space with them? Is their roommate the owner of
I think this is
Stray?
one of those, like, true gamers who think that, like, because you play a game as a cat, that it's not a real game. Like, you know, if someone's like, I play Animal Crossing, like, you're not a gamer.
But you can be a little boy elf in the woods.
They came after gamers. It's
my
like,
God.
anyway. I thought, honestly, a lot of the Stray user reviews, people being like, 1 out of 10, being a cat isn't fun.
And that's
It's
so
like-
obvious.
It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is the one, last one for you. And then the next one is a game, one of my favorite games. Ready?
Okay.
This is my favorite one. It killed me.
Okay.
This is a long, tiresome game. Music terrible. Control terrible. It makes me sad to be an elf.
It's probably pretty.
It's Twilight Princess.
It makes me sad to be an elf.
Yeah, that one might have been a bit jokey. I don't know.
That's that dentist elf from the Rudolph movie.
Yeah.
The claymation.
It's just like, it's a long... I mean, I agree with you, that game is long and tiresome.
Does it make you sad to be an elf? What does that mean?
music in the game's great.
The music's
So.
amazing.
Music terrible. Control terrible.
Music, world,
Bad.
that's
All right.
hilarious. Give me yours.
All right. So you can guess this game.
That was your favorite one? My favorite one was the fucking first one.
What, the Red Dead one?
Yeah.
The Red Dead 2 one?
Yeah.
All right. This is one of my favorite games. You can guess it.
Okay.
I absolutely hate this game. Way too difficult to kill things.
Dark
Button layout is confusing and overcomplicated. It is too difficult to get through a short area in the game to have to start over from scratch every time you die.
Dark
Needs more save locations. If you're looking for an RPG that is fast-paced and stress-free, look elsewhere. This game is slow and extremely difficult. I am way too... This is my favorite part of it. I am way too simple-minded for the extremely complex workings of this game. Wish I could get my money back. Horrible, horrible, horrible game. It does look really good, though. So I gave it a point for looks. Not a fun game at all.
Call yourself out. I'm too dumb for this.
What is it?
I give up. It's Dark Souls.
It is not Dark Souls.
Or is it Elden Ring?
It's not Elden Ring.
Is it Bloodborne?
It is Bloodborne.
It's one of those.
I just... The whole thing is just like, you know what? I'm too stupid. It's a real moment of realization for this guy.
He goes back to school because he played Elden Ring.
It's like,
Oh my god. I'm dumb.
because like, you know what? All these things are fair. It is hard to kill things. There's not enough save
It's
points.
the calling out of himself. Isn't
It's just like that. That's what made me put it in. He's just like, you know what? I'm too stupid. Can't do it.
So funny.
It did, and it does look really good though. I'm like, it does. That's a beautiful
really
game. It's really pretty. Anyway, that's all I got. That was a fun game. We'll keep playing more games like
I
this in
liked
the
that
future.
game.
That was,
Oh my God.
maybe we'll make this a segment every once in a while.
I
We'll go
love how
back.
I know every single one of those people are men.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
I don't think a single woman's ever posted a negative Metacritic
Because we
review.
know that's not for me and we moved the fuck on.
Yeah, that's seriously, man.
Jesus Christ.
It's also amazing too how many people don't know how it works, because there'd be like 0 to 10 reviews being like, great game, loved it. I don't know, they just don't know how it
It
works.
might be like bots that glitch too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, you know, the cesspool that is negative
Too
Metacritic.
simple-minded.
I'm too simple-minded for the extremely complex workings of this game.
Bloodborne.
And like maybe part of it's
Slash.
he's being like sarcastic, like he's just like, I guess I'm too stupid for this super complicated game.
Maybe.
I don't know.
think he's too dumb to do.
Just like, it's just horrible, horrible, horrible game. I absolutely hate this game.
Do you think all these people are 14 years old and we're
Some of them
laughing at-
are,
we're
for
laughing at
sure.
kids and
It's
we're
like, what
bullying
else would I
children?
supposed to do with her time? Let's laugh at kids.
Okay.
All right. Oh, that was fun. I'm crying from laughing. That was
That
actually really good.
funny. Someone should
What
do
was
a
your
list
favorite?
of-
The Red Dead review?
Yeah. What was the line that I loved from it?
Um, I'll read the whole thing again. You tell me where.
Okay.
A stupid game for dumb adults.
That.
Also,
Like, ow. My
yeah,
feelings.
that's a good one. My favorite is probably the Pentiment review because he just
Yeah.
goes so hard about a game he could have just installed and been fine with.
Tell me you don't like to read without telling me you don't like to read.
And like that's fine. If like I can totally get not liking Pentiment, be like this
Yeah.
game's not for me.
Yeah.
But like to go on a website and be like I hate it.
Dumb.
Dumb developers. I'm like actually a lot of work
Developer
went into
lazy.
that game. I'm sure.
Oh my god, so much work into that game. You just can't shoot anything.
I
God
like
forbid.
Call of Duty shoot a man.
Like Call of Duty.
I can purchase an actual book for a cheaper price. Yes, you could. You could do
The
that.
book doesn't have.
I wanna
can't
I wanna see how much
can't
Microsoft
even.
is worth. They're a multi-trillion-dollar company.
No, nothing is.
How
Do
much?
you know how much a trillion? That's what people don't really get. Is like $1 billion. We're too used to hearing.
They're
that.
not multiple trillions. They are 1.79 trillion.
Insane.
Oh, Microsoft has like fuck you
That
money.
can't be liquid though. That
No, it's solid.
it's gas.
Stocks are on the up at Microsoft, by the way. Boom, 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 boom.
No way. The $1.79 trillion company's doing okay. That's crazy.
When Microsoft stock plopped on Friday.
I think as a society, we've gotten too used to hearing the word billion, and we don't think about it as
much it is.
vast as it actually is. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to sit down with rice and remember what one piece of rice looks like and what 1 billion pieces of rice looks like. And remember that that is 1 billion, and that company has $100 billion, almost $200 billion. That's enough rice to fill your whole life.
You go to the bank
Dead
and you're like,
rice.
you're actually, it's an overcharge. Like, do you know how much rice is? And they're like, man, please leave.
How many rice does it take to buy Game Pass? I don't know how money works. I really hate the word. That's just something I've been thinking about a lot. Is like
Yeah.
people are like, oh yeah, it's like a $2 billion company. I'm like, that's insane. Why do we not go crazy when we hear that anymore? We've
Yeah.
gotten too used to it. Billion? No more billions.
Well, it's just a problem with games. And like, it's
but
like,
even like
it's
Taylor
like
Swift
the
became
budget.
a billionaire
Yeah.
recently.
The budget
No,
of
you
this game
shouldn't do
is
that.
$650 million. Everyone's like, if you don't get that back, I'm like, that's an insane amount of money. Of course you're not.
Spend better. You spend too much.
Stop making AAA games. It's horrifying.
Just make a cute indie.
make Pentiment.
Make Pentiment and make it modern.
That game was made for like $20 according to that guy.
The book. Just write a book, Sony. Oh my god.
Anyway,
Sorry,
that was fun. That's a good way to wrap it up. Anyway, Haley, that was a lot
There
of
is one.
fun.
I really wanted to quickly talk about the Last of Us show. I thought.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because sorry, I should have talked about it before we started.
It's not in the show, doc.
Oh, we can't talk about it. Then.
No, let's do it. I would love to talk about that. Let's do it.
What did you think of the first episode?
So-
As someone who likes the Last of Us series,
I
do you like the Last?
I do like The Last of Us series. I think The Last of Us
thought
Part
so.
1 is actually very, very,
So
very
weird how we
good.
call it part one now.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings on Last of Us Part 2 from a story perspective. Gameplay wise, it's one of the best third-person
It's
shooters
the
ever
most
made.
Beautiful game I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
it's incredible. But yeah, I was, initially sort of optimistic for the Last of Us TV show. A lot of
Yeah.
good people involved. I'm a big fan of the show Chernobyl, which the guy who's working with Neil Druckmann, his name escapes me, Craig Manzin, I want to say his name is. That's cool, and then Neil Druckmann being involved, and then obviously the casting of Pedro Pascal, who's wonderful in everything he's in.
Daddy, sorry.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah, he's great, and yeah, the show I thought in its first episode did a lot of cool stuff that is the same as the game, but also enough different that I'm curious to see what they do. Because a lot of people may be ragging on it, saying like, why remake the show to look just like scenes from the games? Like, because. Get this, everybody. Not everybody plays fucking video games. And The Last of
My
Us...
mom will never play The Last of Us. But she'll watch the show.
I was thinking about this. There are people who I know who like have never played video games, but like they'll watch The Last of Us, the movie on YouTube.
Or like The Witcher.
Or the
something.
Red Dead Redemption. There's a 6-hour Red Dead Redemption 2 movie, and I watched something like, this is a damn good movie. I don't want to play that game because it's too long. I don't want to play all the gameplay parts.
Some people can't play games also.
Exactly. So this is just a way for people who can't play maybe
Just
people
think
in the
about
world.
story.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
great story.
How do we tell that story to more people? That's like what the show's doing.
Absolutely. And yeah, there's
Casting's I love it.
those moments where it's like it is like I think I won't spoil it too much, obviously, but there's
Speak for yourself.
a driving scene that is like ripped pretty much directly from the game,
Frame for frame almost.
and it's like and it was shot really cool in a game, and to see it recreated perfectly in the show was amazing to watch. But I also really love my favorite part of the show was sort of the stuff they've added, like the stuff before the like I say the pandemic, but like the
Outbreak.
so shit hits the fan, the outbreak. Thank you. Like just those little moments of like seeing like characters twitching in the background,
that was
stuff like
cool.
that. Like that's my favorite thing in like apocalypse movies is like seeing before the fall and like
It stresses me out so
yeah.
much.
But I thought it was great. I'm excited to see where they go. I love all the casting, like you're saying.
Episode 1 was great.
Yeah, and the next
what was
episode comes out tonight.
The change I like the most.
Yeah.
And people have talked about this a lot.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a spoiler to talk about it. It's just like a thing that happens. So it's
You
not
say
a spoiler.
that, but it's probably going to be a
No,
spoiler.
but like Joel,
Joel.
like bludgeons someone to death
Yeah.
in front of Ellie. That's
Yeah.
not a spoiler. That's just something that happens.
That's
okay?
the gameplay of the game.
I mean, that is the gameplay. So
Yeah.
in the game, in game, Ellie kind of is like, like taken aback. But the way that Bella Ramsey played it, who's playing Ellie, is like they really liked it. Like they were like,
Yeah.
and they like leaned into it. And I think that really plays interestingly into The Last of Us Part 2 Ellie.
Sure.
And I think they're now, Neil Druckmann maybe more so, is thinking more about that characterization
Right.
in the long term. And maybe when they were making part 1 in it released in 2013. So when they're making part 1 in like 2008 and 9
Yeah.
and 10 or whatever,
Yep.
they probably weren't thinking that far ahead. They probably like, oh, she's a teenage girl who's scared.
Yeah.
Just make her look scared.
Yeah.
But now that it's a much more complex character because more media about her has come out,
Yeah.
they can be like, oh no, she like low-key likes it. And like that like makes sense to the context of this game too. Like,
Mhm.
like I think if they were to remake, they are remaking the game, but they're not like,
They already remade the game.
but they're not changing the way the animation
No.
is. But I think if they were to go back in time and redo that scene, they probably would have made her like it too in that scene. I think
Sure,
that's a really interesting choice.
The stuff you can change when you like know how the story plays out.
Yeah.
And they've already said like they're adding stuff in here they wanted to put in the game that
Yeah.
they just couldn't, which is cool. Like I guess
That
we're-
indigenous couple in the woods.
yeah,
that
we're getting
was
a
in the
whole
trailer.
Bill episode, and Bill's a character like I want to see more of. I
Yeah.
thought he was really
I love
interesting
Nick
in the game.
Offerman too.
Yeah, he's
a really
awesome.
Good casting for that.
But yeah, I think the show, and I've already heard a lot of people who have never heard of Last of Us being like, this show is amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, man. It's like HBO's second highest ever debut behind House of the Dragon,
Yeah,
which makes sense
you told
because
me that.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm probably going to watch it. Maybe not tonight because it comes on pretty late
Yeah.
on Canadian streaming services,
Or
but
East Coast at least.
probably watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, we usually watch it on Monday.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen episode 2, even though you listen to this, it's probably out. We just watched episode 1.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I'm excited.
Really good.
Really good.
So much money's been poured into that.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. And obviously, it's Neil Druckmann is like I don't agree with all of his story decisions, but I think I'm really happy for him that because he clearly wants to make films and
Yeah.
or television, and he gets to do that now, and
Yeah.
it's his baby. I will say, I feel that the show not crediting Bruce Stanley is a massive. Bruce Stanley was the co-creator of The Last of Us.
Why didn't they do that?
They haven't credited him.
That's lame.
Which is weird. I mean, obviously he's not involved in the show, but it's being like,
No, but like he should be a co-creator of that IP.
yes,
He should be like, so the way that a credit works contractually is you don't get a credit unless you contractually are obligated to get a credit or they decide to give you one because they're nice. So he clearly just, whatever contract was signed for IP for The Last of Us back in the day there was never a clause that said if a TV show is ever to be made, you'll get a credit. You know what I mean?
Bruce Straley. I'm sorry, I pronounced his name wrong.
What'd you call him before?
Bruce Stanley.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and that because of that Bruce is calling for unionization.
Of who? Of Naughty Dog?
What?
Of who's he calling for unionization of?
Games, I think.
Games. Oh my.
Oh, here he goes. Straley states that it's an argument for unionization that someone who was part of the co-creation of that world and those characters isn't getting credit or a nickel for the work they put into it.
Yeah.
Because, he also created Joel and Ellie and the world and the story.
Yeah.
He was the co-director of that game.
That's something's fishy there from an IP standpoint.
Well, this is where, Neil Druckmann's a little...
No, but like he obviously is doing that and he's able to do that somehow, but he must have gotten him to sign something that says we're not going to credit you, and he maybe Bruce Straley was just like, sure, and signed it like 10 years ago. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
sure.
who knows? Just credit him.
Yeah, all it needs to be is like
What are you
worlds and
doing?
characters created by Neil Druckmann and Bruce. You can put your name first, Neil. It's fine.
No, that's super lame.
Yeah, super lame. So show's good. Doesn't have it has that's a little.
That's his copyright this exact same way that it's Neil's.
Yeah.
Why does Neil get to be the face of everything?
Sure.
Joint ownership is like kind of the worst way to make something, to be honest, because then everything's all tangled up with the other person. But
Because
clearly they signed something that, hey, I know who wrote that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Push Square. By the way, that article's from Push Square.
Push Square. Yeah, that's weird. That's a thing. Some contract down the road did that to him.
And I think maybe the simplest answer is that Neil Druckmann likes the smell of his own farts. And he's like, I made The Last of Us and Uncharted. It's like, nah, he didn't.
Yeah, interesting. He should have credited him.
Yeah. But all that is to say,
that's not cool. That doesn't sit right with me.
No, it doesn't. But cool show.
Yeah, now I feel kind of bummed out.
Sorry, I just thought it was important to mention.
No, that's
that.
interesting. Yeah. And all the people who are screaming at Bella Ramsey for playing Ellie, screw off, I hate you.
Well, yeah, that's like...
They're doing an amazing job. Leave them alone.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job.
Yeah. Sometimes it sounds just like Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, the voice work in general, Pedro Pascal, and
just like Joel.
the actor who plays Tommy, I don't know his name.
He's also awesome, yeah.
But he does an amazing voice. And then, that's not to say that like acting like an adaptation is just to be the same. Like I think that's something what's weird with me with adaptations, that like
Tommy was doing some different stuff out
Sure.
of all of them.
But the whole Bella Ramsey is like they don't look like Ellie. It's like, do you think that's what acting is looking like the person?
Yeah.
Like, could I play the Count of Monte Cristo? I wouldn't say I have the body for it. But I could and maybe put on a great performance. And
I
like
could be Amy Schumer.
Sure.
Not proud of it, but I could.
And like I get like a lot of acting is looking the part, that is part of it, but like just, a 14-year-old girl can play Ellie. It's fine.
Yeah.
They don't have to look like Ashley Johnson. Like Ashley Johnson doesn't look like Ellie. Do they want Ashley Johnson to be in the game, the movie, the show?
Ashley Johnson's in the show.
Yeah, but they're not playing Ellie.
No, of course
right?
they're not playing Ellie. She's not playing Ellie.
I don't know. The idea that like someone has to look like the character they're adapting, obviously they can't be like, Ellie's now an 85-year-old man. It's like, okay, sure, that's weird, but I don't know.
They're playing her so
yeah, they're doing a great job.
I think it's
a
perfect.
wonderful job.
Sometimes, like, especially that first scene when they come into the room and it's like count to 10 and Ellie's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that was such Ellie from the games vibes. Like the energy that they're putting into the performance is the exact way that I would want an actor to be portraying that character. Like perfect beats of sassy and kind of like scared, and it's good. I love it.
Yeah, excited to watch
I'm
it.
excited to watch more.
Probably tomorrow.
I didn't really like the only other thing I think of with games like this is the Witcher show, and I hopped off that pretty
You
quick.
see the Mortal Kombat movie?
No,
Shit fucks.
I saw Wreck-It Ralph.
Kinda, yeah, it's pretty good. I saw there's a Monster Hunter movie.
Oh, cool.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's real
I
bad.
meant more like the new Netflix adaptation.
Oh,
vibes.
right, yeah.
Like not just a video of games.
No. It's I mean, they're also making a Fallout show,
Oh, really?
which has a lot. I think it has potential to be really good. That's going to be on Amazon, I want to say.
Yeah. There's an outpost that needs your help.
Oh my god,
be in there?
that's the whole episode. Is that they try to go forward, but then Preston Garvey comes out and says, "I actually It's like, please go away. If you chose the Minuteman in Fallout 4, you're a psycho.
I can't remember what I chose.
I don't know. I don't remember. Fallout 4 was kind of a blur.
Yeah,
I put like 50 hours in that game. Could not tell you a single thing
I put
about
like
it.
100 hours.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything.
But that I think that's the show.
Cool.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just a couple quick shout outs. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't think it's out by the time this might come out even, but we were recently on an episode of the Draft Punks where we did a fantasy critic draft.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're excited to see what games me and Haley are looking forward to this year, and also what some other great people are looking forward to.
I'm happy with my draft.
I am too. I won't reveal it here, obviously, when you listen to the episode. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I hope I win. I got counterpicked a lot. I'll say that much.
Michael got a lot of counterpicks.
Because they hated Jesus too when he spoke the truth.
Oh my god.
But yeah, check out that episode when it
Kinda
goes
look like
live.
Jesus.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at yourself and
That's me.
the way you looked up. Oh my god, I'm the Messiah.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
What's that from?
The Monty Python's The Life of Brian.
Mm.
But yeah, Haley, where can people find us?
They can find us at Game and Makeup. If you're watching the video format, all of our things are conveniently on the bottom of this page.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not watching the video format, it's just Game and Makeup on pretty much every platform. Twitter, Twitch, Soundcloud, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. Trying to be the last one was.
Well, I was looking at all the little icons.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
And yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And I'm Haleyfax on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's the place where you find me. And you're Michael.
I'm Mike P. Tucker on
Mike P.
Twitter.
Tucker, yes. Your
And
full government name.
again, if you liked the episode, it would really mean a lot to us if you gave us a nice review and or rating, whether that's being a like or a comment in our video here. Please subscribe. If
cool.
is there anything you want us to talk about on the show, there's a big news story, please comment it here or send us a message on Twitter. We'd love to talk about it. We want to give you guys what you want to hear. Do you like the game? Do you like the games we talked about? You like the format? We're always adapting, willing to change. So please.
I like the games. We'll do more games.
More games. You can come up with the next game.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a fun game, though.
I liked that game. That killed me. I was literally crying.
Yeah.
I won't play it.
Yeah, so please, and on Spotify, give us a nice 5-star review. It does really help the algorithm, helps people find us, helps make the show bigger.
Oh, wow. You're really on your knees begging. Pleading.
Please, I want to have a Manscaped sponsorship, please.
We are not doing Manscaped if we ever get a sponsorship. We are doing the underwear where you get the underwear matching with your partner. MeUndies.
MeUndies, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Anywho, I think we're signing off. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it.
All right.
That was fun.
Well, what's our sign off, Haley?
I love games and I love you.
I love you too.
That's nice.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.